From Infinity Park, nestled in the heart of Glendale, Colorado, battle lines have been drawn and a new national champion will be crowned as Belmont Shore face the New York Athletic Club in the 2008 USA Rugby Super League Final. And hello, everybody. I'm Dave Sitton. Welcome you all to Glendale for the mother of all rugby matches in the United States this year, the Rugby Super League Final. Brian Vizard and John Broker join me. Brian, first of all, one of the components of this, the Belmont Shore team, they are no strangers to this match.
No, they're a usual component here, Dave. 7 straight final appearances, 9 out of 12, 4 titles already. They're going for their 5th today. They just got a star-studded team, and they always just keep regenerating, producing new stars. Henry Bloomfield is the star of this team. The big number 8, he's the power up front. Look for him to do some damage. Nesse Malif at the back. Number 15, watch him when he gets room in the open field. He's such an exciting, dynamic player.
John, it's hard to surprise anybody in New York City in the Big Apple, but I guess the rugby team is doing just that. Nobody expected them to be here.
Nobody expected them to be here, but these two teams met 2 years ago in the finals, and NYAC won over Belmont Shore, and they are really a dynamic team. They're really on the upswing, and the players to watch here are the brains trust. Number 9, Muck Petrie, an eagle at scrum half, a fantastic player, a steady leader, has captained every side he's been around, and he is going to have a big impact on the game today. Moving from scrum half to fly half is going to be Chris Mayo. Chris Mayo is really another long-time force of this team, and he really drives things. Fantastic player.
As you take a look at the New York Athletic Club's lineup and then Belmont Shore as we hastily get ready for our kickoff here in this beautiful stadium dedicated specifically to rugby union football here in Glendale, Colorado. Let's get ready for the kickoff. As you take a look,
Belmont can keep the ball in New York starting the match.
We're getting ready to kick off. Belmont Shore will be going from left to right. And they'll be wearing the white jerseys, New York in their red, and the first kickoff is bobbled forward, a knock on New York, and here comes Belmont Shore with the scrum deep inside New York territory. Referees Chris Hentz.
And Coach Johnny Cox for Belmont Shore said that Bruce McLean's NYAC squad, some of the finest set piece in the country. Look for them to do well in the scrums and lineouts today. Good look at our first scrum.
Put in by Spear. Brad out of Anaheim, California. They go to the centers right away. Big barreling run as New York stiffens their defense at the 22-meter line. It'll be a scrum as the ball taken into the ruck with Belmont going forward.
That was our first look at big Henry Bloomfield, the number 8 for Belmont Shore. If this team is going to win today, they're going to need that go forward from Henry Bloomfield. Current Eagle, off to the Churchill Cup in a couple days. Just a fantastic force.
And in case you're wondering about Henry's girth, 6'3", 300 raging pounds. And no, they're not wearing shoulder pads. All right, Bloomfield takes it forward at the back of the scrum. New York sets their defense. Here comes Belmont again. This is a rematch of the 2005 championship. New York were the champions. As Belmont, very patient, moving the ball forward in 2- and 3-meter increments. Let's see if they're going to have it out to the back this time. Nope, going to keep it tight again and again and again. We'll see about Johnny Cox's crew keeping it that way. They get it out to Laird this time. Laird bottled up, bobbles the ball forward, and offside. Nope. Yep. Diving over the top on New York, and that results in a penalty to Belmont. We'll see if they decide to go for the sticks.
And Dave, nice controlled start this time by Belmont Shore, keeping it with the heavies up front. Henry Bloomfield, a couple of battering runs to NYAC. And here's the penalty. There you see it right there on number 9, Mike Petrie.
Nisi Malifa, who was a late starter, inserted into the lineup for Johnny Cox this afternoon, will attempt the penalty goal. This pretty much probably about a 60-degree sand wedge for him. And if it's successful, that will give a 3-0 lead to Belmont Shore.
Nessie's brother, identical twin brother, is playing at number 12 and inside center, Atam Malipa. So if you think you see one of them all over the place today, there's two of them on the field.
Malifa's out of Auckland, New Zealand. Predecessor of the American field goal. Same scoring value, 3 points, and on the board go Belmont Shore, 3-0. And Brian, I'd have to say, Johnny Cox's crew being very patient, driving the ball down the field against New York's defense.
Yeah, and again, they just took it right to him, and it was out that mistake on the opening kickoff by NYAC that gave Belmont Shore that opportunity. Again, every game you play, cherish possession, so important. NYAC gives one up early.
So New York with the restart, the drop kick by Luke Milton. And Belmont's going to attack from inside their own 22. They bring it across. New York's played pretty good defense against them. We're going to see the kick to touch. And it does find touch. It'll be line out to New York just inside the halfway line. Belmont in the Red Conference, they finished with a record of 5-2. They won their division. New York similarly with a 6-1 record in the White Conference. As you see, the kick did not make it out of bounds. The intention there to get it, as he did, into touch. Here comes New York with their first thrust. Nice tackle on Greer, Ali Greer, upset by Malifa. Next phase. Give it to Hunley. Justin Hunley kicks for space. Nice bounce for Hunley. Tough one for Malifa. And he's going to come bring it up to the 22 and look for that clearing kick, much like a fourth down punt. He gets plenty of space. Quick toss on the line out for New York. Hunley. And a big hit. And I'm going to see if there's a 6B6 ruling on this. That would mean the touch judge could say call for a flagrant foul. And I think that's what's going to happen. A late hit on the kicker.
I'd have to give it a little bit of play acting there, Dave. That was quite a dive he took once he was hit. We're turning into soccer sometimes.
Yeah, watch the play here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know, Broadway, right? New York.
Overlooked by the Academy for that one, but he may get another chance here today.
Attaboy. Christian Mayo, 5'9", 180-pounder. Grew up in New York. All right, so they're going to go with the line out.
Kicker kick.
Or kicker kick on the late hit, rather. So on that, the referee allows on the late hit, similar to roughing the punter in American football. Roughing the kicker, they will bring the ball to the point where it either lands or from the point where the infraction, of course, they'll take it where it landed. That puts them well within field goal range, and we're going to see attempted goal from Luke Milton. 3-0 our score. Belmont Shore on the scoreboard first with their own penalty goal. And now New York with an opportunity to draw even. Just about 5 minutes into the match. Finish the idea. There's 3 divisions in the Rugby Super League called Red, White, and Blue. And these 2 teams, the final 2. And we'll tell you about how they got there in the playoffs in just a minute. First of all, look at Mr. Milton. 6'3", 220-pounder in the fitness business. And he looks it.
Milton's been racking up the points every game this year that NYAC has played. And Milton's been a key player with that boot. And a major reason why this team is here.
Although he slipped, he drills it. So far it's Luke Milton matching penalty goals with Nessie Malifa, and through about 6 minutes of play, we've got a 3-all tie.
And for those who think Milton looks familiar, anybody who watched the USA Sevens the last few years, Luke Milton, a star with the Australian side. And Bruce McLean, the coach of NYAC, he said that Luke Milton allowed this team to expand their style of play a bit more. He's a fantastic player in the midfield, allowing them to go out wide just a little bit more.
Alert play on the restart kick.
And that was Gillenwater. Gillenwater, the USA Sevens player. Speaking of Sevens, Viz, just a great addition to this team. Came back from the Seventh Circuit and found a team to play with in Belmont Shore. Great effect.
By saving that kickoff or restart kick, he gives Belmont an opportunity to compete. Otherwise, they pulled that ball back for a scrum at midfield. New York with their first scrummage, and it's not a good result. Ball on the deck, a lot of confusion. Picked up by Bloomfield. Henry lays it down. Perfect opportunity for Belmont. Dart back in, does Malifa. New York's defense being tested once again early on in the match. A 3-3 tie. And a turnover, and New York comes up with the possession. And we'll see about this. A scrum will be awarded to New York.
It looked like a nice steal by Andrew Lindsay, former captain of Cal. He got down on that ball quickly, snapped it up, able to get it back to his side. Good play by both these sides so far in this USA Rugby Super League final.
New York with wins over Golden Gate out of San Francisco and Denver's Barbarians to reach the finals. Meanwhile, Belmont with wins over Boston and Chicago. Big clearing kick that's going to send Belmont Shore back at their own end. Peter Seo gets it back to Malifa. Nessie's kick does not make touch. Taken by Hundley. And an opportunity for Milton and company to counterattack. Luke's big up and under kick. They're going to be testing Malifa right now. Nessie with the move, going to spin it wide. Nice little darting move back inside. Goes the fly half Robert Laird, born in London, plays professional rugby now. Out near the 10-meter line. This again is Malifa. Malifa with a lot of darting breaks. Puts Belmont in space. They get the ball in the arms of Asuleasu. And up they go again, breaking right down the middle are Belmont. And with good support, Belmont Shore just 5 meters short of the line. A penalty against New York. Pace and power so far, gentlemen. Belmont.
Great work by both Malifas there. Nessie started it. Atta was the one who drew the penalty from this NYAC team, but great running from both of them, and they've going to get 3 points out of it.
Yeah, nice hard running by this Belmont Shore forward pack. We've seen Henry Bloomfield use it a couple of times. Peter Dahl, Ben Wiedemer, all these guys getting a touch. A nice play by Robert Laird to keep that ball alive near his own 22.
So Nessie Malifa, who kicked the first goal of this match about 6 minutes ago on the clock, has a chance to put his team ahead again. Scoring values for the touchdown called the try, 5 points, 2 points for the conversion. And when we see a try, we'll explain how that works. And then a little drama to the conversions in this game. And of course, the field goals were 3. And by the way, the old drop goals you hear about once in a while in gridiron football, they're still legal in this one. And plentiful, they're worth 3 points as well. Malifa, sand wedge, up and in. Belmont, after this big break, takes the lead on the penalty goal.
There you see Christian Mayo just trying to kill the ball over the top. Referee right there. And you see the full arm penalty signal, which allowed Belmont Shore the opportunity to kick for goal.
He did save the 5-pointer, but gave away the 3 there.
They'll take it. Milton's restart kick, deep. Bloomfield. Henry takes on 3 New Yorkers who put him right down onto the deck. And movement by Malifa. But he doesn't find touch. That put New York in good position last time. They spin it to the fullback, Hundley. Hundley is going to go for the corner again with a punt. Belmont covers it well. And a mark call. Fair catch awarded. And we'll see the restart kick from Belmont Shore deep in their own territory.
Nessie Malifa getting a lot of touches so far. He's a danger man for this Belmont Shore team. You don't want to give them too much space if you're NYAC.
Well, Belmont not finding touch regularly this half. Behind the 22, this is Hundley, and he booms it and puts the ball back inside. Nope, not quite. I'm telling you, they marked it right on the halfway line. So kicking for field position are both teams. And it'll be Belmont Shore starting with the line out. The ball must travel right down the line. Good throw. And the take by New York. They steal one. Big break for the wing foot crew. Out it goes. Now, big. Ooh. The recycle. Here's the chip kick from Christian Mayo. Make that Mike Petrie. Petrie, we'll talk all about him, a four-time All-American out of Penn State University. Played for the United States in the Rugby World Cup in France the preceding fall. Oh, big hitting. Still the ball in play in this near side. Pushing forward for just a few meters. Out they go. Laird. High ball. They want to test Hunley, and the ball gets by him and picked off by the kicker Laird. Laird moves it back inside. Open field tackle by Mayo. Belmont recycling again. So a mistake on a high ball. And here comes Belmont Shore working with their forwards. Their close order drilling has been very good so far in this match. Now they swing it wide. Atamalifa down to the deck. And the penalty is going to be against New York. They bring it back to the mark with Henry Bloomfield bringing the ball back to that mark, taking the tap himself. He takes on 4 New Yorkers, getting close to the try line. Belmont. So far, a game of 3 field goals, 2 for Belmont, 1 for New York. Ball's not going to be produced in the ruck. It'll be a scrum from 5 meters, awarded to Belmont Shore, the attacking side.
And Johnny Cox has to be just really pleased the way his team's playing so far. Under the high ball, Nestle Malifa has been very steady. They've been attacking well. Their support play has been fantastic. Their forwards are running with purpose. They're taking the ball going forward. They're getting the gain line. They're not doing anything wrong at this point. The only thing I saw Gillenwater on 2 occasions looked like he was open for a pass. They ignored him, and he's got some wheels. They got to throw it out to him.
They're going to reset that scrummage. If you're watching this for the first time, this scrummage preceded the line of scrimmage. And the linemen you see on Sundays in the NFL, before they were that, they were in a rugby scrum, and the tackles were locks, and that's what they are today. Ball on the deck. A bit of a mess right now, but here comes Belmont. They've got it in hand. Take it to the deck. And another penalty against New York. And what the referee is charged is that James Dennis came over the top and killed the ball. You can't do that. You got to keep your feet.
Okay, so the ball. Listen to me a second. There's too many in the red zone. I need you to just take.
Well, a 6-3 lead right now for Belmont. They have elected deep inside New York territory to take the field goal both times. And we'll see this time if they're going to take 3. And it appears that's exactly what they're going to do. So Johnny Cox, playing the high percentage rugby, leading by 3, wants to make it 6.
Wants to make it 6. But NYAC here really just has to weather the storm of this. I mean, they're really taking an onslaught from this Belmont Shore team. And they look as though they're just really taking it, and they're going to push on later. As we take a look at Johnny Cox, the coach of Belmont Shore, with last year's game-winning player, Francois Villon.
You know, talking to Bruce McLean earlier this week, and he thinks his team's an underdog in this game. He wants to hang around with Belmont Shore at the end, and then you never know what could happen, you know, if they're still around towards the end of this game. But Johnny Cox, just on the other side of things, he thinks that there's no reason that NYAC should feel that the underdog. They beat the 2 teams that beat Belmont Shore this year. So it's on the day. Any team can win. And, you know, that's why we play the game.
So Nessie, very short penalty opportunities today. He's been true on the first 2. Wow. Missed shot. What a break for Belmont.
NYAC.
Yes.
Short chip
It was a
missed there.
bad break for Belmont, Brian.
Yes. You just didn't specify what kind of break.
I'm glad you were listening. All right, here's the restart on the 22 meters. Deep kick taken by Belmont back to the halfway line. Score remains 6 points for Belmont Shore. And 3 for New York Athletic Club. They're going to send the wing, Wagner, back deep. He's going to send it right back down to Malifa. Nessie. Out of moves now. And into touch he goes. Line out to New York.
Nessie played the entire 7 circuit with the USA team. You can see those skills coming in right there. But one too many moves, as you said, Dave, and he's going to get caught.
It's always been interesting, particularly now with the high velocity of these athletes in rugby today, playing 7-a-side rugby, which is pretty much a running festival. This high percentage possession game of the 15-a-side. Ball taken to the tackle again. New York trying to mine it. And he does Petrie. And a break. That's Milton across the gain line, finally brought down. New York's trying to recycle again. Here they come. Boom, a massive hit. Laid out. Boy, I tell you what, if you see Henry Bloomfield, don't run near him. And there's your poster. And that's a mismatch right there, I'll tell you that.
I'm not sure if that was...
That was Christian Mayo.
Yeah, but...
Oh, no, it wasn't. You're right. That was
Asu.
Yep.
That's the second big hit that Asu had.
Both of them, number 7 and 8, wear that ponytail. I saw that mane go up. Nice little steal at the back of the scrum by Petrie.
That's just class stuff from Petrie right there, showing why he is the Eagle scrum half.
They move it out to the wing. Rafferty, Sean down to the deck. New York. One thing so far, Brian, I'm looking at, you both tell me what you think so far. Belmont's rucking more guys there, stronger over the ball. New York struggling in that phase of the game so far.
Yeah, Belmont's definitely winning the point of contact. We've seen him crush a couple of rucks, just destroy New York off the ball. But New York's hanging tough, 6-3 is all. Still got Belmont short, backed up near their 22. They've done great in the set pieces, as we expected. It's not the biggest pack, but very cohesive.
Went 90.
And they got the wheel.
Good tactics by New York to change the scrum. Put, I think Henry Bloomfield might have argued he had it about 80 degrees, but
good work there by a solid NYAC pack. They're a little bit smaller than most. Most of the guys are around 6 foot tall, but veterans like Troy Bartley at tight head really make a difference in games like this.
And they screw that wheel a little bit. Bring it out, Milton. Milton with a break. Milton, nice tackle in the open field by Laird. Now into the hands of Doyle. And although they maintain possession, New York losing yardage. Petrie with a chip into the corner, looking for touch, and he gets it. So he's hoping, is Petrie and the New York side, that they can steal a line out inside the Belmont 22. 6-3 our score, about a quarter of the match gone, 20 minutes in, 80-minute 15-rounder. You could call it that.
Petrie's so effective off those little chips over the top, picking up space, picking up territory, putting the defense on the back foot. Excellent job. Soon to be inducted in the Penn State Rugby Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he had his first appearance for the United States against South Africa, said something he will never forget. All right, the ball in the mess right there. Somebody's going to push somebody else off it. It's New York that prevails. We got a full back line, but Belmont up to the task. Good tackling along the gain line this entire first half by Belmont Shore. Petrie puts it in the arms of Dennis. James to the deck. Milton with good coverage. One more outside. They get it to the wing, Rafferty. Rafferty near touch. Keeps it in play. Back to Cronin. Cronin, the number 8, drives it forward into the deck. Playing at the halfback is Mayo now. Gets it to the lock, Willen. Alex down, recycles. Petrie out wide. Milton all the way out to the wing on the far side is Wagner. Wagner over for the try for New York.
Great stuff there by New York. Take it from one touch line, put it on the other touch line, and Wagner goes in. They got two strong, very fast wings out here, and he has certainly shown it right there.
And how about the classy pass from Milton? Watch this long out pass. Just catches Wagner in full stride. All he has to do is dot down. Beautiful play.
Jackson Wagner, 5'8", 180-pounder. Went to Stanford University. He's now a practicing attorney.
And what a fine Milton is.
Yep.
He was playing professional rugby in Japan, had a bunch of big offers, high money offers, but has a girlfriend in New York and decided to come and live in America with her. And I asked Bruce McLean, are they still together? He said yes.
And she, if this bleeds
She's
for
the
Mills,
MVP.
yeah, exactly. She'll be their general manager soon. Player acquisitions.
I'm sure the boys are encouraging that relationship to keep Milton around.
You be nice to her.
Yeah.
She's got 14 big brothers on the side.
Don't forget reserves.
All right, Milton with the boot. My goodness.
Their stock just rose.
Milton converts the try scored by Wagner. And 23 minutes into the match, Belmont finds themselves trailing New York 10, Belmont 6.
Great patch of recycling by NYAC. They did, John, as you said, they went from sideline to sideline, keeping the ball in hand, recycling beautifully. There's the coach, Mike Tolkien. His high school team just got eliminated yesterday in the U.S. high school playoffs.
And Mike leaves tomorrow to start coaching the USA Select 15, and will play England Counties in New York. That's June 6th.
They've all got busy schedules now. This never ends. Here comes the clearing kick. And it's not very far.
A couple of calls going NYAC's way now.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what's interesting about this game, and the same thing of gridiron and other sports where you miss a gimme and things changed just a moment ago. Nessie Malifa was in front of the sticks with a very makeable kick to put the team ahead by 6 points, misses it, and here comes New York. And they have seized the initiative 24 minutes into the first half. Here's another kick by Milton. His leg is so strong, you see him taking kicks traditionally taken by fly halves and or fullback. So that 13 is very, very active on the field for New York this afternoon.
And another good pickup for NYAC, James Hayter, the hooker, started for Clenethley last year in the Heineken Cup semifinal.
There's Milton with a well-placed chip ahead. Is he going to find touch? Oh, he's on fire. That right leg right now is carrying New York.
Turning that defense, you want to keep going backwards, putting the pressure on inside the 22-meter line. Back to Hayter. He wanted to give the financial markets a try. Very professional in attitude, done very, very well. In talking to Bruce McLean, he said he's like having another coach out there. They agree on everything in the game plan. He's like having another coach. He feels so comfortable with him on the field.
Line out taken by Belmont, stalled just inside the 22-meter line. Belmont trailing for the first time, 10.6. One try scored, and out they go. Bloomfield. Going to hear that name a bunch today. Clears some space. Malifa with a clearing kick. He's been having trouble finding touch and does it again. So another counterattack opportunity. Justin Hunley is going to go try on the far corner now. Malifa has the ball, take a bad bounce to him. And a lot of pressure, Belmont under a lot of pressure now, but they're going to bring it right out. My goodness, here's Malifa on the gallop. His line pass into touch. What a nice run by Taylor Leasuasu. Number 7 for Belmont Shore, when it looked like New York had Belmont pinned deep in their own territory.
It's very dangerous. We've seen him on both sides of the ball now.
Pinpoint pass by Petrie. Taken in by Cronin. Petrie again. Out to Mayo. And a break. The big James Hyder down inside 22. A perfect placement. Now it's in the hands of Troy Bartley. Bartley taken down around 5 meters. There's space outside for Mayo. Mayo in for the try. And New York extends their lead.
Halfway through this first half, the tides are turned. It was all Belmont Shore for 20 minutes. The onslaught, NYAC had to weather the storm, and they put in 2 tries. Very different game all of a sudden.
Oh, what an awesome play. There's the big break by Hayter. Here's the team. Watch the quick ball, the quick recycling. Well done. And again, another quick recycled ball, and they get that ball out so quickly away from danger. And look at Myali to do was run to the line. Excellent try by NYAC once again. And the momentum has certainly changed in the last 10 minutes.
Yep. And Mayo extends the lead. Now we're going to explain to you about Milton's conversion. In this game, when you score the try, the conversion is taken. Beautiful shot, gentlemen, from the point perpendicular from the point in the end zone where the try was scored. So Milton has a very difficult angle. Had, for instance, Mayo had a chance to turn inside and touch down closer to the post, then he would have less angle. So that's why Milton's kicks from this difficult angle. Conversion worth 2. Is a little more tricky, and he nails it. How about that?
Milton is on fire with that boot today.
So 7 points for the goal. 17-6. New York Athletic Club and their coach, Bruce McLean, very much taking charge.
Milton's overall game has been phenomenal, John, not just his kicking.
Absolutely. As that goes on, he's going to put more pressure on this Belmont team, pushing them further and further back.
James Dennis was absolutely slammed to the turf. And the kick away by Petrie to get some space. Good. And it's in touch. And we will start with a Belmont line out at the attacking 10-meter line. Belmont Shore, by the way, very close to Long Beach, California. So between the New York Athletic Club and Belmont Shore, we are definitely going coast to coast with this championship game. Nice little movement cutting back inside was Laird. Here comes Belmont. Do they have a response? They're inside 22. And the ball, although knocked forward in the tackle, a penalty against New York. Here's Henry Bloomfield again. Boom, down he goes at 10 meters away. Belmont has yet to score a try in this match. A little bit into the center. This is Malifa. Atta Malifa.
Try again.
Laird. Nope, make that his brother, Nessie Malifa. Belmont testing a very much more confident New York defense right now.
No, get out.
A little adrenaline push. Melissa playing the fly half now. Ball to the deck. Right in front of you. How about some hard hitting to try to gain possession here? It's Belmont's. Dummy back inside. New York bending but not breaking at their own end of the field. 30 minutes into the match. Another dummy. Pitch it to Le Asu. He takes it to tackle. Back inside 22 are Belmont. Nice little movement that time by Laird. Laird back to 10 meters away from the line. Ruck ball. In charge are Belmont. Moving forward with their forwards again. Exactly how they began the game, gentlemen. Very close, running off the sides of the rucks with their big forwards. Dummy move on the second one, they bring it. Tackle right in front of the sticks. Chip by Malifa. Ball to the deck. And finally, a whistle.
Captain.
And let's
Number
see.
2, Captain.
Uh-oh.
It's a repeated infringement in the red zone. If you go.
Well,
Too many in the red zone.
New York
Penalty.
has a yellow card now, a professional foul. I think it's on Hayter. I'm not sure. But the referee, Chris Hentz, said it's the second time a professional foul occurred in the red zone. So New York now with the lead, but now trailing in the number of men on the pitch. One sent off for 10 minutes.
And that is Hayter. You're right, Dave. And that could make a big difference in this game. He has been a monster defensively, making big breaks on offense. And that could be a big loss for the next 10 minutes.
And so you take out an outstanding hooker like Hayter, and now Belmont understands on the penalty they're going to take the scrum. And they're going to try to drive New York all over the pitch right now.
No delay, please.
We see NYAC bringing in 17, Tony Nash. Got to get a front row hooker in there with Hayter in the bin. Big opportunity for Belmont Shore now. 10 minutes going to take them into the half. They're going to look to finish strong these last 8 minutes, put a couple of scores on the board. I'm really surprised Belmont didn't go for the 3-pointers when they had the opportunity right in front of the sticks. They could have cut into this lead. Still plenty of time. You got to get points when you can.
Tony Nash will come on to replace Hayter, and let's see who they're going to take off. They're going to remove their flanker, James Dennis, who will serve in the penitentiary for Hayter as well. Because of safety factors, when a front row player is sent off, you can replace him with a front row player. So Hayter will spend 10 minutes off, and now his replacement will mean that they have to remove a player, and they choose their open side flanker, James Dennis, as well. So 2 starters off the pitch, a 2-for-1 for Belmont. Here they come, mishandle and a big break for New York, but they can't capitalize. Nice pickup by Edgar Pitts. Edgar played at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, a formidable college program out on the West Coast.
Milton finally made a mistake. He should have went down on that ball, secured it for NYAC.
And here comes Belmont again. Great opportunity, big tackles. Belmont trailing. 33 minutes into the match. Swing it to the far side does Malifa. Big tackles by New York again. This sequence started with a scrummage deep inside New York territory. And Belmont charges forward, dragging the few New Yorkers with them. All right, here they spin it wide. Ball chipped down, gathered, back up into the arms. And it's going to be the ball knocked forward by Belmont. Scrum it to New York.
Lots of luck there for NYAC as that little chip kick took a weird bounce. Belmont, unfortunately, not to come down with it there.
Belmont continuing to mount the pressure, trying to get that score before the half. 5 minutes left in this first stanza. 17-6. They put all the pressure on the last 5 minutes. Henry Bloomfield a couple of times lined up in that back line looking for an opportunity.
One of the things we are noticing about Belmont's attack is that they are using Nessie Malifa, the fullback, and Robert Laird. They're interchanging the two, always having somebody at the other end of Spears' pass. And look at this break.
You're right, Dave. Malifa generally a fly half or inside center, but they have fullback for this team, and he is sliding in there very nicely and a great distributor.
What a break. Free kick on the scrum. Look at Milton. Honest to goodness, he should join the United States space program. He could just kick the shuttles into space and save a lot of money. My goodness. Milton, although he banged the ball quite a ways, was marked into touch just inside the New York side of the line. Gavin Hickey from Dublin, the hooker for Belmont. A perfect throw. Spear. Spear gets it. Break it back inside. That was Pitts. There's Malifa again taking the first pass. Bloomfield, they get it to their hooker. Once again, that's Hickey. Inside 5 meters, now across the 22-meter line. Belmont desperate to get on the scoreboard with a try. They've got 2 penalty goals so far. They've got a lot of players outside. Here's Pitts. Pitts on the way. Pitts with 1 to beat. He's drawn down on the near sideline, right in front of you. Belmont surging, trailing 17-6. Under 4 remaining in the half. Here they come again. They're going to leave it up. This is a punt, but he's got a lot of forwards at the other end of it. Bloomfield picks it up. Bloomfield carries over. Bloomfield in for the try.
A big fella.
Henry Bloomfield staging an all-comers match. Who wants to tackle me? Come out of the stands wherever you are. And Bloomfield gets the first try for Belmont Shore. And that makes it 17-11.
Dave, being in Southern California, I've seen Henry do that so often. Watch Henry take this ball near the touchline. He's got the pizzazz and the grace to tiptoe that line, just fends off number 6, Andrew Lindsay. Dots down, the big man, and he's improved so much. He used to be like an impact player, 15, 20 minutes. Now he's an 80-minute man. Belmont and Henry have worked very hard to get him in this position.
All right, in all your years of international rugby, when was the last time you saw a chip kick out to a 295-pound prop and a 245-pound prop? It doesn't happen very often, does it?
Only here at Infinity Park does that happen.
That's right. The theater of the bizarre. But it worked. Bloomfield with a score. And now another opportunity for a kick as you see Nessie Malifa lining up. And the very difficult angle just inside. The 5-meter marking, hash mark. That might be charged. Yeah, Malifa sends it. Good hard boot. Wide right. So our score remains New York 17, Belmont 11. And delighted to welcome our old friend and colleague Murray Mexted into the mix right now. What a joy it is to see you. You were supposed to be calling a big game for the Super 14 last night.
Gentlemen, delighted to be here.
Good to see you.
Murray, of course, what a fabulous career as number 8 for the New Zealand All Blacks, and you are a busy man broadcasting and other endeavors we'll talk about in a few minutes. What do you think about this big boy, Henry Bloomfield?
Yeah, I'm impressed with him right from the start. He's an imposing figure, isn't he?
And then some.
And he's no chicken either. I see he's 35 years of age.
Nope.
But he's not so mobile. I've been watching him off the ball a bit too. He's been standing around waiting for the ball to come to him. So he's not one of those hunters and gatherers.
Nonetheless, he has scored Belmont's try. It's a 6-point match. There you take a look.
It's a two different styles, two completely out there here on this field today. Belmont Shore really using a sort of an impact, abrasive style of game.
Meanwhile, New York, side to side.
Well, they're moving it around. I think they've got a propensity to kick a bit too much. I think they should be moving the ball more. They have to run. They have to run Belmont really out of the game if they're going to win it. Otherwise, Belmont will just wear them down. I mean, we've got a game on our hands, haven't we? 6 points in it.
It's Luke Milton, 13 for NYAC. Pretty impressive Aussie playing for the New Yorkers.
We've got a dingo up here in the US.
Stay inside, Drew. Stay inside, Drew.
I bet he tells everybody he's from Australia all night long.
And the Crusaders, champions of the Super 14.
Yeah, again, 6th time, isn't it?
Nice send-off for Robbie Daines. 7 times apparently, Murray.
All right, there's one of those chips again. Well placed. Lots of pressure on Belmont. Malifa taken down at the 22. Belmont assembling on their fullback down on the deck looking for a kicker. They've got it. It's their fly half, Laird. And he boots it into the seats. And that should be and is halftime. 40 minutes in the books here in beautiful Glendale, Colorado, Infinity Park. A brand new American venue for the sport of rugby union football. And we've had a dandy. Our halftime score, the New York Athletic Club 17, Belmont Shore 11. So Murray, talking about your fabulous career, and you wanted to get back to the game so much, and this opportunity now with your
International Rugby Academy, yeah. Well, it's been a mission. I mean, I'm a bit of a mission man, really, in some respects, and I thought, you know, that the game definitely needed a higher level of academy so that the best development programs for players and coaches were available to everyone. So I formed this academy and got a full alliance with the New Zealand Rugby Union, and the idea, of course, is to offer players and coaches a chance to upskill and to really make it in the professional world, professional rugby world. And of course, the big news is that we're going to bring it to the United States, and I'm delighted to be able to announce that. We've reached agreement with USA Rugby Union, and also Mike Donovan here at Glendale, and we'll be running the first programs out of Glendale end of August, 29th of August, so not long away actually.
So kids who want to apply, how can they do that?
Anyone can apply. That's the beauty about it. It's open to anyone. It's independent. It's a service provider, and with an agreement like that, it means if you're a young player and you think you're good and you haven't had an opportunity, or you want to lift your skill level, then make an application through US Rugby, of course.
All right, thank you much, Murray. We'll be back in just a minute. It's halftime with our score. New York Athletic Club 17, Belmont Shore 11. We'll be back with our coverage of the Rugby Super League Final from Glendale, Colorado, after this timeout. What a first half we've had by these two in the Rugby Super League Final. Belmont Shore, New York. New York overcoming the early lead by Belmont. And Brian, we'll be interested to see the adjustments made at halftime.
Oh, fantastic first 40 minutes of play. New York spreading the ball from touchline to touchline. Belmont Shore just ramming it up with their big forwards. It's going to be interesting to see this second 40. But Henry Bloomfield, again, a powerful try. Lifted this Belmont Shore team. But I like the way Luke Milton plays in that backfield for NYAC. Outstanding player. And John, about from your side of this, as the New Yorker here.
I think they're going to keep encouraging Milton to kick that ball as much as he can and keep them pinned back down in their end. It's going to force their wings and fullback to play further back and to give more room to this NYAC team. And they really, really have to out-fitness this bigger Belmont side.
All right, interesting about both teams. As we heard Murray Mexted comment just a moment ago, two distinctly different styles so far. Belmont very much the larger side, banging it up, keeping it close, and New York more expansive but kicking away quite a bit.
Yeah, Nessie Malifa is doing a good job at the back of this Belmont Shore attack, but he's not getting any room to run. He had a couple of breaks early on, but New York's wedging him in. He's done a fantastic job, or they have, but New York's still playing shorthanded for 2 or 3 minutes in the second half. Belmont Shore is going to look to start out quickly in the second 40.
And what do you expect from the New York group?
I expect New York to keep doing more of the same, to wait to get back to full strength, get their guys in the field, and run, and get that big boot in there.
All right, we're going to Brian Vizard and John Broker, all delighted to bring you this game live on ESPN Classic. Second half underway. Luke Milton, whose right leg has certainly been a big part of the story. Starts it with the restart kick. A 6-point match. Ball chipped up. He's going to take it. Nice take that time by Alex Willing. Grew up in Yonkers, way to the State University of New York. Belmont squeaking forward. Big hit there by Cronin. And now Belmont taking a page out of the game plan from New York, kicking away possession. On the run is Sean Rafferty. He gets it to his fullback, Hunley. Hunley, under a little bit of pressure, kicks it ahead into touch, and it'll be marked out on the near touch line. Yeah, at about 10 meters in.
Rafferty, a really interesting story there. Rafferty played rugby in high school and then went to play varsity football to Division II Susquehanna, and now he's back in the game. Coach Mike Tolkien says he just improves every week, and his blazing speed has resulted in a number of tries for this NYAC team. If you go through any of the top-level rugby teams in this country, you'll find some extraordinary athletic heritage of guys who played football, Division I, Division II football. A lot of Division II football players come into this game, and they do very well. Remember college basketball players we've seen? Luke Gross played college basketball, didn't he?
Yep. You see a couple of Belmont players crossing in front of one another. It's going to be a scrum to NYAC. Henry Bloomfield trying to get his engine revved up early here in the second half.
You see that magnificent mane of Talilea Asu.
We may just call him Henry Jr.
Yep. Milton. This time going to give an opportunity to Peter Xiao. He goes to his fullback, Malifa. Nessie's kick doesn't find touch yet with a bounce. Now they got a number 8 booting it. Not bad. And they're going to rule that his foot was on the 22. Therefore, the ball is marked from the point where he kicked it. So Cronin did a good job to field that ball as it bobbled it so close to the touchline. But as he kicked it, stepped on the line, ball comes back to the point from where he kicked it.
And Cronin, such a valuable player in that 2005 final, was the center for NYAC in that game. Also their goal kicker, very good athlete. Converted to number 8. He's also a great cricket player back in Australia.
Stay open, White. Stay open, White. Check and go.
Nice line out take by Belmont Shore. They trail by 6. 7-half action, United States Super League final.
Oh, nice
Boy,
drive.
that was like riding a wave.
Sweep, Jacks. Mikey, sweep.
Spear out to Laird. Laird with a missed move. They get it into the fullback, Malifa. And the ball, take it away. Petrie down. Nice placement. Very tidy. Milton goes back to that fullback slot, but even he doesn't make touch this time. Malifa and company. Nessie's going to go for that same corner again. Doesn't quite get there, but he does find touch. Line out to New York, just outside 22.
You gotta talk to Luke.
Both teams just trying to get field position. NYAC just trying to crush the ball downfield. Belmont Shore in the attack, trying to pick up some nice territory, spoil a line out.
Quick line out ball, good possession. The boot. And before that, a penalty on Belmont. Down on the deck was Mike Petrie, and he is shaken up, and that is saying something, because this young man, what a career. He is just starting after 4 years as an All-American at Penn State. 5'10", 185-pounder, just 23 years old. He was the starting halfback for the United States in the most recent World Cup.
He's just started, but 10 years already under his belt. 23 years old, played a lot of, started as a freshman at Xavier High School. Now he's one of the coaches at Xavier. A couple of these guys for NYAC, coaches at Xavier, and then Blake Burdett, the coach at Utah University. They have a number of coaches in this squad. Christian Mayo works with Play Rugby USA.
Well, junior got it to senior. Leasu also gets it to Bloomfield.
Oh. Come on, ref.
Laird. He tests the back line. And the ball off of Petrie. A break for Belmont on the knock forward. Belmont Shore with a scrum in the middle of the field, about 34 meters away.
Very precise.
34.6 meters from the try line.
Big H Henry Bloomfield is a wide open right side of the field here. Just Peter Seo out on the wing. If I was a betting man, I'd say we're going to see Big H break away with it.
Got to get that right shoulder.
Here he goes. Instead, it's a pitch, 8-9. Malifas, chip kick, taken at that 22 spot. They've been playing a lot of rugby, these two teams, on that very hash mark recently. New York looking to clear it. Under pressure, I believe that ball was tipped. Look at this kick. And that sends Spear deep inside 22. What a swing of that right leg. Spear's return kick in touch. My goodness, that is about an 80-meter swing from kick to kick, and now it'll be New York with the line out just outside the 22.
NYAC in a bit of discomfort, though. Christian Mayo is not looking good here. He's got a leg injury. The key player in this NYAC attack.
Lots of bumps and bruises, to say the least, in this match this afternoon, but it's the final one for these two teams, at least in the Rugby Super League. Many of these teams will, as this Rugby Super League season comes to its conclusion, will rejoin other teams around the world with more professional playing opportunities, and some will go back to the weight rooms.
Well, there's a lot of U.S. rugby going on. You got the England counties coming over, and then Munster in August.
Clermont-Auvergne in August as well.
I think that's August 9th. Munster's, what, August 23rd, I believe?
Yeah, August 9th in Charleston, South Carolina. It's going to be USA versus Clermont-Auvergne, one of top French clubs, and the
NA4
23rd in Hartford, Connecticut.
NA4 games right here, June 13th and 14th, I think.
You said that French
Those go
club.
beginning of August.
Say that again. The French.
Clermont-Auvergne.
You got that little nasal thing. That's very good, John.
I have 6 years of French, and I can repeat names these days. It's about as good as I do.
In it goes. Hayter back into the ball game after being removed for 10 minutes for professional fouls. Banging ahead is John Cronin, the number 8. Recycle ball to New York. They're now without their fly half. Christian Mayo has come off the field. And I don't think they've replaced him yet.
Christian Mayo selected for that USA select team, so he'll want to be all right come Monday.
Petrie kicks away the possession. Mark called by Nessie Malifa. Murray Mexted made the point a little while ago. There's a lot of kicking going on. They've accelerated. Both teams have now. There's a whole lot of kicking going on now.
And some good, some not so good.
Yep. Here's Jackson Wagoner. He's got a try already. He's across the halfway. There he goes, kicks it. And getting set up for another kick is Malifa. And he finds touch right in front of our broadcast position. Now, gentlemen, I am looking at New York's side, and I don't believe they have replaced their fly half yet. They're playing down a man, trying to make a decision whether or not Christian Mayo can re-enter the game. Hayter with a big gallop towards the 22. Into the tackle he goes. Having a look is Mayo. Wagoner, patient, finally throws the pass, ball knocked forward. Malifa down to the deck, but they're going to take it back to the knock forward on New York. Belmont will have the scrummage. We're finding now that Christian Mayo will not be able to continue. Tim Ryland will enter the game and replace him at fly half.
Looks like I think Milton's shifted down to play fly half.
Yes, you're right. So Milton will go to fly half, and then Ryland makes the straight switch out to outside center for Milton.
Ryland brings another Penn State player onto this team. Troy Bartley, the prop, went to Penn State. Mike Petrie went to Penn State. Justin Hundley, the fullback. And now we bring on another back. And Tim Ryland from a great program there, the Nittany Lions.
You make a great...
Where his father's coach, I believe.
Yeah. That is a fabulous college rugby program in College Station. And that is really the heart of the matter for U.S. Rugby now, as the colleges are starting to very much accelerate their games, better programs throughout the country, and that is absolutely the future of this Rugby Super League and, of course, the United States national team. Boom, boom, boom. That means Henry Bloomfield.
And Dave, you got to feel though that you're coach University of Arizona. You're probably seeing more and more kids coming to your school that have already had high school experience, I would imagine.
When I started coaching many years ago, you might have one kid as a freshman come in and say that he played rugby before, and you asked him where he played, he'd say offense. But nowadays, you've got, for instance, at our program and in programs across the country, you've got 10, 15 kids coming in every year who have indeed some very good high school or high school aged rugby in their background. And another boot. The other phenomenon, I mentioned it earlier too, coming into this game now and entering at the college level are former gridiron players, particularly at the Division II level and some Division I teams that they're looking at the possibility of, interestingly enough in this country, you take a 6'3" tackle, he's just not big enough anymore. He can play this game.
NYAC again executing on their set pieces, just did a really good job on the Belmont Shore scrum. Now took nice clean line out ball.
Greer takes it to the deck for New York. They lead by 6.
Belmont preventing the quick ball coming out. That's where NYAC was so effective early on.
And the whistle.
Petrie still looks a little hobbly from that earlier hit. I think it was by Henry Bloomfield, the big man.
Ball nearly turned over there by NYAC.
Well, obviously, if you remove a player like Mayo and you replace him with a kicker like Milton, we might see New York really knocking the ball back. John
Nice
Cronin
scrum.
with a change of uniform.
Nice scrum move opportunity here, left side. We used to love this when you had so much daylight on the left side of the scrum.
Although that, in fact, is the harder side to run.
Yeah, if you get the right scrum, a dominant scrum. And NYAC's got a pretty solid platform. Just too slow.
Nine moved it forward. That ball was taken by Peter Dahl. Peter grew up in New Zealand. 6'2", 217-pounder. Here's a clearing kick by Malifa.
That's his best kick of the day.
Boy, it sure is. That was Milton-esque.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a rocket guy caught up in that jet stream, I think.
Nessie, a little grin there. He's happy with that kick himself.
Yeah, that one by far his best effort.
James Hayter. Nice take at the other end. New York. 12 minutes into the second half with the lead, 17-11. USA Rugby Super League final. Glendale, Colorado. Very, very busy. Nessie Malifa. Again, he's to boot. Well, I'll tell you what, New York does not hesitate to kick that ball at Malifa now. But Nessie is the busiest guy in the stadium right now. Not even the guy who sells programs and hot dogs is as busy as Nessie.
You know, he's a great attacking option too, but I was saying it before that Milton, you know, that boot really keeps Nessie pushed back there. He's got to stay way back in order to field those.
And we welcome back to our microphones our friend Murray Mexted, the legend of New Zealand All Black Rugby and broadcasting for Sky.
New York are playing the clever game of rugby, aren't they? They've got a clever strategy. They've got a clear game plan. I can't quite work out Belmont's game plan, but you can see it clearly with the boys from New York. And those sort of things in final rugby, that's a really important part of the game, because you know, you don't really very often get ascendancy from one team over another in the physical aspects of the game. When you get to finals, it's the strategy and you know, doing the smart stuff right.
And New York very good at the set pieces. Their scrum very solid. Line out always good.
And as soon as you say that, they lose the ball in the back row.
But that was just a good play by Spear.
Belmont now tending the ball. Looks like a gridiron context now. Getting ready for the snap. Boom. Instead, they run tight. Lei Asu. Nessie. Malifa testing the opposite number, Justin Hunley. He's going to lift it right back down in the corner, and guess who's there? Malifa. And he calls the fair catch, the mark awarded, and a free kick coming up. Boy, that's the second one he's delivered like that. Tight spiral. And a lot of yardage gained on the kick.
And NYAC just using Milton so effectively in that back line. Getting some of the unsung heroes in the front.
Still, it's a one-score game. Here's Milton. Sends a rocket out to your side and into touch. Did he find it? Oh, my goodness. Did he find touch?
Well, there's a simple rule in rugby union. It's kick to land, not to hand. And so often we see teams kicking the ball back, passing over possession. But that was beautifully done, wasn't it? It was strategic. They're looking for a line out. They're looking to put pressure close to the goal line, and they're in a great spot now.
It's like an Andrew Mertens bomb.
Yeah. Murray, what's your impression watching this contest here this afternoon about the development of the American game at this upper level for the United States?
Oh, I'm delighted to see it's got so much shape to it. Really, I mean, I've come straight from Super 14 rugby, which is probably the best competition in the world. To see this, but it's got such good shape, and that's the big movement, I think, in US rugby in the last 3 or 4 years.
And what are your impression of the ELVs that were used in the Super 14 this year?
Well,
Benefit to rugby?
Oh, absolutely benefit for rugby. They're good for the game.
Here's a drop goal attempt, long distance dial up, and it's good. How about that?
Justin Kip Hundley.
Great
drop goal there.
We told you earlier that's one of the ways to score. You've seen them all now. Justin Hundley taking a drop goal all by himself in midfield. And he carries it over. The field goal worth 3 and extends the lead and now makes it a 2-score lead. How about this? Open play. Boom.
Nicely slotted. Good follow through. Head down. He knows it's good.
Well, he was right on top of the logo, too. Boom.
Oh, look at that. Perfect.
Well, sweetly kicked, but isn't it interesting the ebb and flow of the game of rugby? It looked like it was Belmont Shore. Now it's New York, firmly in New York's court. Belmont need to score to change this whole game. Otherwise, you'll see New York moving away as you get into the last quarter.
And it looked like Belmont, when it looked like Belmont was going to take the initiative again. NYAC's done a fantastic job.
Well, the first 15 minutes, I thought there's only one team in this. But how wrong was I?
The throw, nicely done by Belmont. And as just discussed, this is a team that's in need of a score. 17 minutes plus into the second half. Now trailing by a pair of scores, 20-11, New York in front of Belmont. Belmont at one time led it 3-0, then 6-3. And it might go back to that missed penalty goal by Nessie Malifa in the first half. There's that tight drilling accomplished by Belmont. They're perfectly happy taking 3 or 4 meters at a clip. There's Henry. Boom, boom, 2 meters. Bet on it. Or did he turn it over? Nope. Now they go outside. Dummy. Go back inside, does Laird. Now they slip it to Wiedemeyer. The lock carrying it forward. Out to Laird. Laird keeps. Laird in the middle. And down to the deck. So the fly half down. Quick, it goes out. Bloomfield, he's already scored once today. Takes on 2, 3, 4 New York defenders. Boy, the only way to practice tackling him would be stand in front of a garbage truck.
Either that or tackle him around the legs.
The tires.
Take on the tires. Inside 5 meters are Belmont. Desperate for the score. Out it goes again. It goes the fullback, Malifa. One pass away. Do they find him? Yep. Malifa, angry, takes down the replacement, Tim Ryland. Oh, so close. New York electrified again. Here's Wagoner. Kick ahead. It's the fullback's brother, Atta Malifa, who has to cover it. Under pressure. Atta Malifa going to run himself and clear it with a kick. Wow. Murray, you called it about this momentum thing.
Well, I call it the ebb and flow of psychic energy. You know, it's a mental power that moves. And I think Henry Bloomfield, is that his name?
Yep.
I think Henry Bloomfield realised that, and he's picked up the ante because he's the sort of guy that has to lead by example, doesn't he? And you've seen that. But I couldn't help but think Belmont need to move the ball wide. They've hardly moved it wide the whole game. They've had to go in midfield most of the time. And the only time they moved it wide, they got an intercept.
Right.
They got one on the ground right now. We're going to find out. I believe it's Belmont's Mark Kernan, their loosehead prop, and we hope the best for him. I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to talk to Murray about the development of rugby players. What's interesting is we've been around as Americans in the game for a while now, is that generally speaking, and Brian hit to it a few minutes ago about players in the United States taking up the game at 15 and 16 years of age. Back home in New Zealand, of course, that's a rite of passage at 5. So when you take in your academy a very strong American athlete who has accomplished a great deal in American sports, say he's 18 years old, you do deprogram. What do you do to prepare him for the next level of the American game?
It's an interesting question. You're talking about the nuance of the game. If you start playing the game, any game, doesn't matter what sport it is, at 5 and 6 years of age, you can feel it as the game is played. If you come into the game at 18 or 19, it's a lot harder to get that nuance. We've got a great example in New Zealand right now, an American player called Kevin Swearin. He's a real athlete, this guy, but he's only been playing rugby for 3 years. And he's got a feel for it, but he needs to have more and more time. It's a time thing, really.
To me, it's very similar to basketball, in as much as because of the transition nature of the 2 games, it takes a great deal more of experience to be truly competent and even good at it.
Oh, this young man's going to be a very good rugby player, actually. I think you'll hear of him in the future.
All right, here comes NYAC again. Lindsay. It's into touch.
Speaking of basketball,
Yeah,
throw back there.
Well, we're going to see it all today.
Well, as a foreigner, I've been disappointed, really, until just recently, that more hasn't come out of the United States as far as rugby's concerned, because you have a country full of athletes, full of fantastic specimens, just ideal for the game of rugby. And you've got a heritage with American football. It's the same shaped ball, you know, it's the same concept, scoring a try or a touchdown. It's the same business, but I can't work out why there haven't been more American footballers converted to rugby union.
And more, David alluded to it earlier, more and more of the football players are starting to find rugby. It's just a matter, you know, rugby's still not mainstream quite as much as the other sports in America, but it's getting there.
Although I will tell you the thing I think is the most remarkable development in the last 5 to 7 years of American rugby, and that is watching 17 and 18-year-olds playing at the high school level with a packed house of parents watching it and wondering, where is my son going to play his college rugby? That changes everything.
It's fantastic, isn't it? 200% growth in the last 12 months. Absolutely. But this in itself, this Glendale achievement is quite spectacular. This is a purpose-built rugby facility. Now, if you have more of those around the country, it'll grow like topsy.
Well, just make an investment. We'll take it. The New Zealand dollar is doing very well right now, Murray. It's time to invest. And as an American, I don't want to laugh about that ever again.
How's that Murray built?
Mike Petrie now for New York. Trying to move us. Just outside 5 meters are New York. Here's the big shift. Cut inside is Milton. Milton toward the line. Milton held up. New York with the ball. Oh, wide outside. How about that? Tap it down to Justin Hunley. The easiest try anybody has scored all year long.
Well, they look easy, but you've got to create tries like that. And that's when the game's at its best, when you can create a bit of space and give it to the man who's unmarked, and that's exactly what happened.
Hunley's running the scoring right now, hit a drop goal just a minute ago, puts down that try. It's going to be a very happy young man tonight.
We'll give some credit to the NYAC forwards. They're the one who took it up, committed the Belmont players. Look at that. Any one of 4 or 5 guys could have scored that try. Justin Hunley, the benefactor.
And Milton, too, was the mover. He made the little break that got over the advantage line.
He's a good player.
Yes.
I was going to say Milton's done a great job transitioning that role of fly half as, you know, as Christian Mayo had to go out of the game. He's really just taken on the role and run with it.
John, before this match started, we were talking about the fact this is the second time that New York had come into this competition. It was, what, 3 years ago they came in against the same Belmont team. They were very much an underdog, and they overcame Belmont, and here they are again. You said before the game began, they're an underdog, and here they are.
Here they are, absolutely. You know, 3 years ago they were an underdog. This year they weren't an underdog on paper. They were number 1 out of the league, but nobody really expected them to beat Belmont Shore. But, you know, great coaching staff, Bruce McLean and Mike Tolkien put a lot of real positive energy in these guys, and they came in here knowing they could do it, withstood some Belmont onslaught, and here we are with 15 minutes to go, and they're putting a good lead up.
You know, a lot of that too is the conference. Everybody's got this perception that the East is so weak, and that NYAC didn't play anybody tough. And then you got Belmont, who's in a real tough division out west. So nobody really gave NYAC much credit, but they are just taking it to Belmont Shore right now.
I'd have to say the people from the East don't really agree with that all so much about being weak, but you know, yeah, absolutely. The West Coast has a great tradition of rugby right now, but there is some good rugby going on out East too. And we just want to see it grow across the country.
Well, Barry, what you're seeing here is one of the great American phenomena, much like at home where the North Island despises some teams on the South Island and vice versa. The two coasts in this country don't like each other much in sports.
Here goes Henry.
And it's going to start in basketball this week, too, with the Lakers and Boston all over again.
Yes, well, I can't help but think that this game epitomizes it, really, that in rugby today, there has to be method behind the madness. And New York have that.
Possession given away again. And it's going to be offsides against the new man, the wing that was just placed into the game for Belmont Shore. And that was what we call a little sneak in that time.
I heard the referee say that the man who was pursuing was in front of the kicker.
Right.
I think that was Tony.
Number 21.
Yep.
And of course,
Tony Frantangelo, but I'm
yeah,
not positive.
I believe it is Frantangelo. He was listed as a starter.
He doesn't look like an Onyango to me, which is what they have listed.
We were talking about Luke Milton earlier, Murray, that he's had a bunch of pro offers in Japan. He was playing professional rugby in there, but he's got an American girlfriend. And so he's here in America with his girlfriend.
And lucky him.
That's right. Well, that's what we were talking about. That she's the most valuable player on this team.
Oh, well, we need to appreciate that more in rugby.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people are playing in certain countries because of ladies. I did a few of them.
Yeah. Wait, didn't you get banned for that? Oh, you're in a different country. I forgot.
I nearly put my foot over there.
You're all
Well,
right.
I must admit, I have played a few games in different countries because of them. And there are so many good decision makers out here. And as the game goes longer, you can see those guys coming to the fore. Even the little move a few minutes ago, what was his name? Willen, I think. The way he read and anticipated that and dropped back. I mean, tight forwards, you know, they're allowed to do things like that.
And I have to say the best decision makers so far have been in the red jersey.
Yep, I think so.
Well, untidy passing behind their own 22. They give it away, taken by Cronin. Into the tackle. New York playing with all kinds of confidence. And don't forget, with 10 minutes left in the first half, they lost their starting hooker, James Hayter. Played a man short. And boy, have they put on a half. Here they come again, Nessie Malifa. Good movement by Nessie. And a good unload to Henry Bloomfield. And still they go. How about this? There's a rabbit loose.
Dylan Water.
Yep. James Gillenwater of Sevens fame. Does Belmont have the gas to take advantage of this? They go to their lock. Back inside they go. Whittemer. Now they have no choice. They got to go wide with it. Leasu Asu tackled again. Belmont back to full strength on defense. 15 on 15. Dummy back inside. Bloomfield over the ball. 29 minutes gone in the second half. 25-11. Belmont trying to get back into this one. Very close to the line. Spears pass. More good running by Malifa. And a penalty against New York. And a quick tap. Very close to the line are Belmont, and it is penalty against New York. I believe it was offsides on the tap. And as a result, Chris Hentz will bring the penalty back out 5 meters. Tap again. Here comes Belmont pushing. Henry over for his second try.
And just reward too, I will say they strung the moves together. There must have been 7 or 8 phases there. And like looking at the game, Belmont need to go back and do exactly the same. They need to field the kickoff. They just need to hold on to it, take it up, and just keep possession.
You know, I had the pleasure of calling last year's final here in the Rugby Super League. And similar, Belmont Shore won last year. Chicago Lions were ahead by a big margin. Just a few minutes to go, and they engineered a big comeback. So don't rule Belmont out just yet.
Look at Henry. He gets hit low at about 5 meters and then just drags 2 players over the line. Yeah, no match.
He's worth his weight in gold, isn't he? He just needs to be a little bit fitter and maybe 10 years younger. Then he'd be dynamic.
He used to be a 20-minute. He used to be an impact player. Remember the impact player days? And he used to be a 15 to 20-minute man. And he's worked very, very hard.
Nessie Malifa.
To get back into a fitness mode.
He still is an impact player.
Gentlemen, so is Nessie Malifa. He converts the try. And now
It's all on, isn't it?
back into the ball game.
Converted try, and it's a draw.
So don't count Belmont out. No way, no how. Not right now. Back to a 7-point margin for New York, 25-18. Still plenty of time, 9 minutes or so. Johnny Cox, the head coach of Belmont Shore, thinking his guys need 7 to get even.
Come on.
And perhaps send it into extra time. Here's Malifa again. And he just does fine touch. Wonderful kick.
Not a bad kick, but really they've got to keep hold of the ball because now it's New York ball into the line-out. They'll probably retain it. Belmont need, when they win it, they've got to hold on to it and they've got to use it just like they did when they scored the try.
All right, now a switch for New York. Garrett Cottrell. I take that back. That's not Garrett. That's Blake Burdett. Blake Burdett into the ball game. Blake also another one of these coaches who plays upper level rugby. He's a coach at the University of Utah.
Another World Cup veteran last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad player to bring on the bench.
And into the ball game he is. Belmont, meanwhile, have a chance. Send it out. And another big break. Inside the 10-meter line. Take care of the ball. Fratangelo. Pass from Spear. Taken by Malipa.
Oh, nice tackle.
And the ball chipped ahead. You can do that. Live ball. Who's going to get it? Milton took it in. I'm not sure where he picked up the ball, gentlemen. Inside or outside. But it looks like Belmont's going to be about 5 meters away from the try zone.
Well, he must have taken it in play, otherwise he wouldn't have tried to kick for touch. It was a great tackle there, just caught him around the ankle. Let's have a look here. Oh, no, yes, it is short. He's a talented footballer, isn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
Because, of course, if he hadn't have done that, it would have been a 5-meter scrum. Belmont ball, and it would have been all on for young and old.
Belmont needs a converted try. As you look over the shoulder of Gavin Hickey. Well, they're getting ready for a rush
For Henry.
There they go.
Hands out now, hands out.
See what NYAC's got for a goal line stands here.
They lead by a converted try. Belmont seeking another championship in this competition. It was 3 years ago that New York overcame Belmont. Belmont drives so close to the line. Out to the backs they go. Malifa back inside. Big sturdy defense by New York. Stops Belmont. Back inside they go. That's to Hickey again. And the busy hooker taken down at 5 meters. And the referee has whistled it off. Time is stopped for a moment. And Chris Hentz wants to talk to his touch judge to find out if there was some sort of...
Stamped the guy twice in the middle of the back.
Okay.
Point 19.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk to him. White 19, please.
All right,
White
the penalty
19.
is going to be against Belmont.
Okay. Yeah, TJ. Yes, sir. We had it. Clear ball. Getting him out. You can't do it, okay? Yes, sir. It's going to be a penalty. Just take care of it, all right?
That is a squandered chance right there for this Belmont team. Under 5 minutes to go in regulation time. That could be the difference.
That's Dustin Snow, a reserve for Belmont. Got caught stamping. Can't do that. And now they give up possession, and they give up about 22 meters.
That's just one of those stupid penalties. There's no reason for it. Absolutely. I mean, you got to start thinking at this point.
Stop. That's a mess, guys. I want a big gap, please.
I mean, you're trying to be the best team in the country, and you're making a silly penalty 5 meters out.
Open it up.
Off the ball stamping.
Open it up. Open it up.
Great take by New York. Andrew Lindsay went to California, where he had a couple of several national championships. Boom. And New York comes steaming back.
When Milton can kick area code to area code.
All right, cross
Belmont
country.
does not want the ball at his feet.
Yeah, I think it's a great time to congratulate both these teams. NYAC undefeated throughout the season.
That guy could have
Just a fantastic season, fantastic coaching, some tremendous players, great game plan. Belmont Shore against 7 times in a championship game.
Burdett is whacked as he took that ball from the back of the lineup. And more hitting going on now. Milton took a big hit that time. Belmont taking up the level of physical rugby. It's going to be a scrum to New York. It's a 7-point match, 25-18.
I'm curious whether Milton has a drop goal in that arsenal as well. We've seen that boot in a number of occasions.
Well, Hundley can do that.
Well, I'd say here's Burdett. He gets punished.
Boom.
That was by one Malifa.
And the other one's getting ready to hit him again.
He's
Here
lining up.
Oh, we just missed it. Burdett is slow to get up.
Looks like Hader's down 2 possibly. So Burdett, what's Burdett playing now? Is he propping?
Burdett has played number 8 and in the front row for this NYAC team. He's come back from a couple of injuries since the World Cup, but he has had a big effect
I
here.
believe he's playing number 8 right now.
Pretty impressive for a World Cup prop. Or hooker, excuse me.
Boys, he is actually playing lock.
He can do it all.
You bet, Alex.
His resume's getting bigger.
Boom! As the two scrums get together.
No hands now.
All right, New York trying to throw a knockout punch at Belmont. Belmont desperate to get the possession back and score a converted try. More big hits by Belmont. They seem to be quite angered right now. Hader just does unload it to Heidelberger. Jeff from Hoboken, New Jersey, onto the deck. Out they go again. Milton. A little punch. Clearing kick. That time by Fratangelo. Over the head of Hundley. He's in front of 22. Off the side of his foot. All right, Belmont Shore within, we reckon, 2 minutes remaining in this match. We'll have a line out inside 10 meters on the New York side of the field. Do they have what it takes to win the line out and take this ball roughly 38 meters for a try?
And they also got to start thinking about getting to the poles too. You need that conversion attempt.
Well, they get the jump, they get the take.
Part 1 good.
They go back inside, big hit. That caught the referee as well. Chris Hentz, you heard his microphone disturbed. Once again, the fly half is Malifa. Malifa with a break. Malifa near 22 with a good pass back inside. Belmont. They will not stop. Belmont. There goes Henry Bloomfield. Bloomfield near 5 meters. A desperate last gasp for Belmont Shore, a previous champion of the Rugby Super League. Get it, and into touch they go. It's going to be a line out to New York. And it's going to come down now. Can Belmont, this is a very difficult place to complete the line out. You can't tap it down. You have to win it.
I thought there was a penalty on New York. Watch the little pop pass. Oh,
just
he
over
wouldn't
the
have made it
shoulder.
anyway.
Yeah, Brad Spear.
Good defense by Cronin.
Great finish to this match right here. Just the kind of rugby you want to play, the kind of rugby you want to watch. This is a fantastic Super League final.
This is 3 years in a row. The Outback Belmont game 2 years ago. Chicago Belmont last year. And this is another classic. 205 was a good one too, close.
Andrew Lindsay took the ball from the lineout, now into the maul. Big kick here. And they don't find touch. Here's an opportunity. Fratangelo. Inside 22, leaves it. Nice pickup. Malifa. Nessie down to the deck. Big hit. By Leo Asu. Edgar Pitts mining for the ball. Braces.
Referee's got the arm out.
Here's Spear. Need a good pickup. Fabulous pickup. The ball thrown forward. Watch out. That's it. Nope. Penalty. Hold on.
A long advantage played there by this referee. And Belmont, another shot at it.
Well, how about going for line out here?
I go to touch, you go to the line out again. As we've watched rugby throughout the weekend, though, we've seen a lot of decisions.
You can have the line out, yes?
Yeah, you just heard the referee say you're going to get the line out and kick the
He will get
touch.
the line out if he wants it.
All right, Nessie, they decide not to take the line out. They take the tap.
Yeah.
They know they need to score under the sticks here.
Here they go. New York's got to stop them one more time. Next time the whistle blows, New York could claim the Rugby Super League Championship for the United States. However, Belmont still not done. Get it out to Dahl. Belmont needs to get a lot of guys there in a hurry to keep this possession. They do.
Good job by Gillenwater.
Malifa. A lot of yardage lost by Belmont, but they're not done yet. Belmont, there's the knockout. Nope, they say it was no knock. Play on.
I think a lot of New Yorkers wouldn't agree with that call.
Nope, there's going to be some real tired young men after this whistle blows. Oh, I don't care what team they play for. Nice hands, nice break. Into space goes Belmont. This is their shot. Great tackle on the open field by Justin Hunley. Belmont inside 22. Boy, what a tackle by Hunley. Malifa to the other Malifa. Still they go forward. Over goes Belmont for the try. Would you believe?
Stuff here.
Oh, my goodness.
Controversial call by Hensel right there. Referee says that ball went straight down. Some people might say it was knocked down. And the beneficiaries of this Belmont team, big moment.
Was that the hooker? Was that Hickey?
Gavin Hickey with the score. An incredible comeback by Belmont. They were singing the funeral songs just a little while ago. Here they come again. Nice offload.
Oh, look at that. There's the missed tackle. That was number 12. That was Ali Greer.
All right. Well, kids, Nessie Malifa, who began the game by kicking a pair of penalty goals for Belmont Shore about an hour and a half ago. And Johnny Cox, the head coach of Belmont, his team's season rests now on the right foot of his fullback, Nessie Malifa. Don't forget, Nessie was not scheduled to start the game today. Now, Belmont is successful as a result of Malifa's kick. We'll have 2 10-minute extra periods. So here goes for the tie. We are going to see extra time. The Rugby Super League final is drawn at full time, 25 each. And these two teams will get set to go again. All right, folks, don't go away. 2 10-minute extra times. We're going to let the teams catch their breath. How about you two? We'll be back on ESPN Classic. The USA Rugby Super League final will continue right after this. Welcome back to Infinity Park. Extra time here, 2 10-minute periods as Belmont Shore completes an incredible comeback, 25 apiece. Here at a place where they say dreams can come true. Boy, do they here this afternoon.
Infinity Park, the possibilities are endless, and the possibility of Belmont coming back, if you look at their record in these finals, is pretty good, and they've done it again.
So a good look now, Johnny Cox and his crew, Belmont Shore. Boy, they worked hard, and the same can be true of New York. USA Rugby, inspiring America to fall in love with rugby. And why wouldn't you fall in love with rugby right now? My goodness, coast to coast, we've got these two wrapped up 25 apiece. New York and Belmont, and they're just not done with each other yet. Now, if you're wondering about sudden death, oh, we've got that planned for you a little bit later. It'll be 2 full 10-minute periods. After 10 minutes, they'll change side. They'll accumulate score. If they're still deadlocked after the additional 20 minutes of play, we'll go to sudden death. So that's how it is. I'm Dave Sitton. I'm delighted to bring this with you on ESPN Classic tonight, along with John Broker and Brian Vizard. We are delighted to have Murray Mexted, the New Zealand legend, with us as well. We had a little bit of everything.
And what we have is a great game right here. I'm nervous. I couldn't imagine how these players are out in the field.
Well, the microscope is on as far as American rugby is concerned right now on these two teams. And here we go again. Luke Milton with the kick, taken very well by Ben Wiedemar. Tough pass for the fullback, Malifa. And under a lot of pressure is Malifa. Tackled inside 22. Belmont needs to recycle cleanly and get the kick. New York putting on the pressure. Here's the boot, and it's a good one. So despite getting the fullback Malifa tackled inside 22, Belmont capable of recycling and getting a clearing kick. And that moves the play out to the attacking 10-meter line for New York. NYAC had that big lead in the second half. Nice service that time by Petrie. Don't forget, New York playing without their starting flyer, Christian Mayo. He went out. Center Luke Milton went to that position. And Tim Ryland replaced him. As we mentioned, Blake Burdett also into the match for New York.
Henry Bloomfield lucky not to be penalized there. That would have been well within Milton's range if he'd been penalized for not rolling away.
So Henry's back at the prop. What did he move up to the prop?
Another man that can do it all.
Well, Henry played prop in the 2005 game. I do remember that. He was a little bit heavier, a little bit more out of shape in that game.
Well, putting this into perspective, Belmont scored in probably arguably the 81st minute of the first two stanzas. These guys are going to be expected to go not 80 minutes, which are grueling enough, but now an additional 20. That'll put them at 100 minutes for sure, and then possibly going to sudden death.
And what a game. If you're new to rugby watching this on ESPN Classic, what a fantastic way to get initiated this wonderful sport we all play.
Ryland takes the ball into tackle, leaves it very nicely. Here's big Blake Burdett. Boom, boom, boom. Down he goes. Somewhat fresh legs. Came in about 70 minutes into the match. And benches become so important now. Nice bit of ball handling by Belmont, and they've got some space. Here they go again. James Gillenwater.
He did well in the injury time try.
Oh, there's your knock. Play on. The return pass intended from Wegener to Hundley, incomplete. And we're going to go over this just one more time. 2 10-minute periods. They're going to count all the scores of that, accumulate the full 10, and if they're still tied, then the sudden death period. So plenty ahead. And right now we're taking a look at Justin Hundley, who has captured the attention of the bench for New York and their trainer. I beg your pardon, that is actually Ali Greer. So Greer on the deck, and that is Jeff Heidelberger, number 1, watching over his teammate as they tend to him.
The altitude maybe catching up with Greer. One team from the right coast, one team from the left, coming up here to the Mile High City.
Yeah, there's no advantage for either side in that regard. They both are at sea level. We can agree on that. That's about all these two will agree on.
It's been a brutal contest. A lot of guys banged up. Burdett's walking around a little stiff, a little slow. A couple of Belmont guys getting up really slow. What a great way to end the Super League season.
Now, if you're watching for the first time, and you're watching right now Ali Greer come off the pitch, he is going to be replaced by Brian Fitzgerald, number 22. it's good to be on TV today, boys. All right, here we go again. New York pulls it out of the scrum. Nice play by Petrie, even to get it. Ball's tossed forward. Advantage to Belmont. If you're just joining us, figuring to see something else on ESPN Classic, hold your horses. We've got the USA National Championship called the Super League. It's their final. They had a tie with no time remaining, 25-25. The team in red, the New York Athletic Club. The team in white, Belmont Shore from the greater Los Angeles area, close to Long Beach, California. They've been at it for over 80 minutes now. You're going to see the next 20 of these two teams valiantly trying to win a national championship. Kick ahead. And that one may have had too much on it, and it did. He was in front of the 22, so a break now for New York.
And Dave, just to add on to that, if you are new to the game, these are the top two teams in the country. This will be for the top tied in the U.S. All right, okay.
Just outside by about several millimeters. I've been told not to speak in yards and inches anymore, several millimeters. All right, when these two began a couple of hours ago, they were representing the best of the 18 teams in the Rugby Super League from throughout the United States, both coasts and the interior as well. Malifa through the gap. Down this time is Heidelberger for New York. Chip. They're looking for that same corner again. Ball stays up to the new man, Fitzgerald. He's in front of 22. Nice movement. Will he get the touch? Nope. Here's Malifa again. Malifa with a nice move. Malifa beats two, beats three. Malifa near halfway. Nessie Malifa. Busy fullback all day long for Belmont. Out it goes. Here's the kick by Robert Laird. Testing the opposition fullback. That's Hunley up to the task, down immediately in the tackle.
Ruck it out.
John, you made a comment earlier that these Malifas, it's like seeing double out there. These guys are all over the place.
They are really, really active right now in this extra time period and just putting on a great display.
Another rush ahead. Cross kick this time. Again, they're working on Hunley. Justin with a lot of time. Now he's going to put it right back down. There's the block kick. Recovered by New York. They just do it, and they find space. Here's Malifa. These two teams are just knackered. Substitution in rugby, very similar to baseball. Once you're off, you're off. However, Robert Laird has some wheels. Nice tackle by Fitzgerald. Bone jarring to Laird. Laird scoops it up, but the ball was thrown, knocked on, and it's going to be a scrum down to New York.
Lucky to get away with that one. That could have gone either way.
Well, I'd like to see that one again. It sure looked like New York knocked that ball on.
All right, you two, hang on. Let's you be the judge.
All right, Henry Bloomfield takes it. I watch the wild pass. Let's see who knocks this. Okay, there's the New York hand. Referee blew it too soon. Not sure if he would have scored or not, but
well,
still.
you can't presume the try. So.
Right. Looks
now
like we got a flag on the field.
Yes. That we don't have in this sport. All right, as I was saying, 18 teams began this season. They are divided into 3 conferences, and they work their way through the playoffs. To give you an idea, just some of the names and some of the cities. Belmont, in their quarterfinal, beat Boston, and they beat Chicago's Lions 34-15 into the semifinals. Meanwhile, New York beat Golden Gate out of San Francisco, and then Denver's Barbarians on their way to this national championship match. So all the way from sea to shining sea, 18 outstanding rugby clubs represent the Rugby Super League.
And I don't think there's a person here that started the day that's left early.
No.
There's a future rugger.
This little one.
He's already got his mouthpiece. All right, now if you are asking the question, what about substitution? Think of baseball. Out of the game, you're done. You get a total of 7 substitution, period. That means for injury or tactical purposes. After 7, you play short. So, these are true sport warriors you're watching right now, particularly the guys who wear numbers 1 through 8. The lower number guys are very similar to the American football linemen. As a matter of fact, these guys beget the American football linemen. And they've been working hard today. Here's Milton's kick. It is partially blocked. Here comes the counter.
Legs, guys.
Fratangelo takes the ball into tackle. Malifa. They had Laird out there. The fly half has got some pace. Back across 22. Got to the other Malifa. Ball's knocked forward. Play on. And finally they bring the ball back after no advantage was gained. And now Laird is on the deck. Robert Laird, number 10 for Belmont Shore. And he's up now. As you take a look again at Hundley. He's been shaken up a couple of times here.
Watch a nice run by Laird. A little footwork. Stepped inside once, stepped inside twice. Finally being brought down just inside the, on who was at 19, couldn't bring that down. And this is where penalties come into play too, guys. Just in front of the poles. NYAC's got to be careful not to give up any penalties.
NYAC with a scrum. They come out from the back of it, set up the ruck just inside their own 22. In the first of 2 10-minute overtime. Milton belts this one. It's going to be Laird, the closest Belmont player. Make that Gillenwater now. Gillenwater comes all the way back. No knock, has trouble, gets it to Laird. Laird with a nice one-hop pickup off the side of his foot into touch. Oh my goodness.
Just like that, Belmont Shore 10 meters out. Now it's 22 meters out for NYAC.
You saw Robert Laird right there take that big hit at the other end of the field. As you take a look, he and his side, the defending USA Super League champions, and they've won it 4 times. They have appeared in this final 9 times. This league begun in 1997.
9 out of 11.
And 7 straight for Belmont Shore in the final. That's phenomenal. I talked to Johnny Cox, and he said, you know, it looked like it was going to be a rebuilding year after the first game. I think it was a loss to Denver. And then the guy stuck it out, and he thinks this is like the next, the new step in the next generation of Belmont Shore.
Huge line out for Belmont. And a knock on. Oh, not straight. Excuse me, not straight. And it's going to be scrum to New York. Now, the dynamics are this scrum is likely to be the last play of this first overtime period. Belmont, if they can keep New York away, they will put away this 10-minute overtime period, take a rest, switch sides, and start again.
Might want to think about a drop kick, try to set something up if you're New York in the middle of the field.
I think I'm drop kicking right now. Instead, they're going to take it to the blind side. Cronin picks up a good 10 meters. Pass from Petrie. And they're getting closer. You set up the drop goal now. Be a chip kick for somebody like Milton.
I'd bring it over one more time. Get directly behind some protection.
All right, they're waiting for it. Here it comes, Petrie's pass. Milton fires it. They got it to the wing. Number 11, that's Wagner. He's straight in front of the post now.
This would be the time. They get ball back. Nope.
Nope, they turn it over. Belmont Shore, the big takeaway. That's a booming kick to touch, which will likely end the period.
All right, here's 10 minutes.
And no indication yet from the referee, Chris Hentz. And there it is. All right, folks, we've played 90 minutes. We have completed 90 minutes of play, 80 regulation, 10 in the first overtime period. We got another one coming your way right here on ESPN Classic. New York and Belmont, 25 apiece. Welcome back to what is now being known as a rugby marathon, ladies and gentlemen. We've completed an 80-minute rugby match and played the first of 2 10-minute periods of overtime, and we're still locked up. It's New York 25, Belmont Shore from Southern California 25. I'm Dave Sitton along with Brian Bizzard, Johnny Broker, and Murray Mexted. And rugby on ESPN Classic is brought to you by Infinity Park. The fuss is all about the Rugby Super League trophy, adorned by a beautiful eagle, the official symbol of rugby in the United States and this grand country. And we begin period number 4. This is a 10-minute. And again, if they're tied at the end of this 10-minute period, then we will go see sudden death. Milton takes out that rocket he's got on his right leg and launches again. Boy, what a long and satisfying day for Luke Milton.
Right here, boys.
And those teams are feeling each other out in that first overtime period, but it's going to come down to who takes the opportunity right now, who takes that chance and runs with it.
I'm starting to sense drop goals win.
Wait a minute, feeling them out. They had 80 minutes to do that job.
But I thought they did it again. I thought there was a little bit of kicking in that period. I thought there was, you know, they almost went back to the beginning of the game. Maybe I should have been a little clearer.
All right, there's your take. Belmont angling to get a long clearing kick. And there it is. Nice boot. That sends Rafferty back, and that bounces into touch.
Nice kick.
Yep.
Busting Snow. Okay, now replacements are starting to come on. You see the guys who've been there out there all day long. They're cramping up.
Yep.
Henry's still out there. The Malifa brothers still out there. Wiedemer, he was a starter, had some big catches in that injury time try.
All right. You talk about feeling each other out. What you're talking about is two teams recognizing, very much like a gridiron team that assesses, hey, we're on our own end, it's 4th down, let's punt it away. Similar strategy here for both teams, looking for field position.
Well, looking for field position, also looking to draw that penalty. Now you got to start thinking about just taking it forward, waiting for the other team to make a mistake and a penalty. Trying to take a shot at goal.
Belmont and White going left to right on your screen. And they take the ball into touch, and a penalty called against New York.
See, that's what you want to do.
Yep.
Now Malifa sent the game into OT, has a chance here.
Malifa wants to dial it up. This is going to be a penalty goal attempt with the angle of about 45 meters. See all that real estate right there across that dotted line to your left is about where Nessi's lining it up, and you see that vast expanse. This ball is going to have to travel for him to put his team ahead. Don't forget, he made a dramatic conversion kick at the end of regulation.
And also don't forget, Belmont hasn't had a lead, I think, since like the 15th minute of this game. It's been a long time. Milton, 22nd minute, Milton put him up in front. Or Wagner, actually.
And it becomes tough to become a wife and watch this for 4 periods. Malifa's kick got plenty of distance, and it bends just inside the post. Oh my! You dance, you be happy, Mom.
Last year in the final, Belmont needed a hero, and it was Francois Villian. Francois not playing this year. Belmont needs a hero now, and it's Nessie Malifa, and he's come through for him.
You know, here's one of the other glorious aspects about rugby. Folks, your place kicker plays as a regular position player like he did in gridiron generations ago. And for Nessie Malifa, as tired as he is playing this whole match as a very busy fullback fly half. And here he is again, but he misses touch. Milton. Nope. Take that back. That's Fitzgerald. And the ball knocked forward by Belmont. It'll be a scrum to New York. And now that Belmont's got a lead, they want to take some time, so they chip the ball down the field. They have a replacement right there, though.
I don't know about you guys, I'm cramping up in here too.
Altitude getting to you, Biz?
Yes.
I like another 6 energy drinks, thanks.
Fantastic Super League final.
Here comes Cronin from the back of the scrum. Dives down at the 10-meter line. 10 meters away from the halfway. Into the line comes Hundley. Hundley with a nice dance inside 10. That was Milton. Bring it back to this side is Wagoner. Hundley can't handle the pass. And it will be scrum to Belmont. 28 to Belmont, 25 to New York. Belmont retaking the lead just a moment ago on Nessie Malifa's penalty goal of about 46 meters. And a little over 5 minutes remain in this second overtime. And a penalty called against New York now. You're talking about momentum. It's shifted, at least for the moment.
Cover the line, cover the line.
Nice break for Belmont Shore. Not only is going to get some territory, it's going to kill some time off the clock. Already 6 minutes in. And they're going to be in no hurry to get to that line out.
And a very well-placed touch kick.
Okay, he kicked that ball at about 6:04.
Yep.
So every line out's going to take 35, 45 seconds. They're in no hurry.
When that thing hits 10, it's New Year's. There they go. Personal run here by Brad Spear. Spear finally brought down deep inside New York territory. New York so close to the line, a try will put it away for Belmont. There he goes. Bloomfield. So close into touch. And New York's defense holds by the hair of their chinny chin chin. Now they've got to cover 99 meters, though. 3 minutes left.
Then it's our ball, right? No, he's already in touch.
Watch this nice break by Brad Spear. He saw a little gap, cuts back inside. I thought he was in at that point. Good cover defense. Look at Spear, gets it up to his teammates. And then Henry Bloomfield just could not bowl over. Good defense by New York in the corner there. You see a look at the scrum half. Johnny Koth rates him very highly.
All right, well, the time stopped roughly 7 minutes and 40 in, so at least about 2.5 remain for New York. Here, take a look at Brad out of Anaheim. Played his college rugby at Occidental. Also played a little bit of club rugby for their alumni. All right, New York with the possession. And a huge hit by Hickey. Gavin was the man of the match when he scored the try with no time remaining at the end of regulation some time ago. Penalty against Belmont. All right.
Let's go, let's go.
You tap? Nope. You got a guy like Milton. He can get you to the halfway line and get you a line out. So here comes Milton's punt. Right about halfway. We're going to mark him out. Just inside 10 meters. Now we're going to have another substitution for New York. And that looks like Brian O'Grady. Yeah, this is a crowd that's been well worn. They've had several other preliminary matches here today, and they've been waiting around for this one all day. Big hit by Cronin at their own 10-meter line. Minute and a half remains.
This title card has not been disappointing, to say the least.
Oh, no.
Now, NYAC's in the same position Belmont Shore were in regulation, trying to score that last desperate point at the end of the period.
Up, fake punt. Swing it outside. Rafferty the wing. Rafferty, he's a rabbit if he gets loose. Rafferty in the open field, one to beat. Going right by Laird. Rafferty with the move. Rafferty looking for help. Stalls, gets it to the fullback, and the pass goes away. My goodness, Hundley's pass into touch. Jackson, 5'8", 180-pound lawyer out of New York, played his rugby at Stanford. And he had to hold up to find some help. Here he is.
I think that was Rafferty. Look at him breaking. He did the right thing. He was just looking for some help, and 21 just came in the game. The pass from Hunley. Look at the nice break here. God, that would have been awesome if he would have scored that try. Look at, there's Hickey. There's a Hickey, the hooker.
Yep. And you're right, it was Rafferty.
And like we said, he's new back to this game, Rafferty. You know, he's just back from playing football for 4 years in college. Certainly got a bright future.
Well, I don't think he did the wrong thing. He was looking for support. He knew he wasn't going to make it.
Yep. No, he did the exact right thing. Belmont has dodged a bullet. Well, I think a kick to touch might do it. I'm not sure. We'll see about the referee's interpretation. The ball is kicked into touch. Is there one more line out remaining? Looks like it. Turnabout, fair play. All right. How similar are the situations?
Could be a droppy.
Yep, a drop goal will tie it. I wonder if anybody cares over there. Boom, they're set up right in the middle.
He's not thinking of it,
They're
yeah.
not thinking drop goal. That'll tie it. No one's set up for the drop kick. Hunley batted one from a long time, but they're going for the win.
They got advantage play. It's an advantage on.
They're going to get a penalty goal here in a second to tie this thing up, or to attempt to tie it up. However, they're playing with house money right now. Still an advantage.
Oh, my goodness.
Here you go.
And the drama continues.
All right. The referee, Chris Hentz, says that Belmont was offside. He's awarded the penalty to New York.
Right in front of the post.
This, folks, you might recall a little while ago that we watched Nessim Alifa make a conversion with no time remaining to tie the game. Now, 20 minutes of playtime later, we find Luke Milton, who's been a busy boy all day long, in front of the post. There is no time left in this overtime. If he makes this kick, we'll see sudden death. So, hate to interrupt your dinners on the East Coast, but that's what we're going to do.
The ticket holders have gotten their money's worth today, and people at home are getting a great match.
Heck, we started during the dinner hour on the East Coast. Here you go for the tie. A moment ago, this stadium sounded like we were watching the 15th hole at the PGA event in Phoenix. A loud place, but it was a golf crowd for sure as Luke Milton bangs that one for three. And folks, we are going to head to sudden death. Our score at the end of two regulation halves and two 10-minute overtime periods is knotted at 28. These two teams are incredible. We're not going anywhere. You better not be either. We'll be right back. We remain at Infinity Park in Glendale. Heavyweight boxing matches are scheduled for 15 rounds. If they're tied at the end, they hug and they go home. Not in this one. These two teams have gone through the first 15 rounds. We'll call that regulation. Two more 10-minute periods where we saw the score change and level off again. So we're going to call this period now of sudden death, the knockout period. It's round 20 of this heavyweight bout.
Both these teams prepared for this, but NYAC, on their way to their last championship, played in a semifinal 4 overtime periods against New York's Old Blue to go to the finals and won that one. So we'll see if some of that experience comes through. But these are going to be some tired boys going at it.
I would like to own the ice franchise in this neighborhood. There's going to be a lot used in a little while. And you've seen this movie before. Malifa with a kick to touch. That's how it begins sudden death overtime. And in case you're wondering, if there is no score after 10 minutes, they'll switch sides. But the next score wins. Very much like Mom has called us in for dinner. Next score wins.
Who could ask for anything better than this?
Down it goes. New York. Ball in hand. Out of hand. Milton's kick A little challenging, and that one, not the kick, really, that Laird wanted to deliver. Now taken by New York inside the Belmont half of the field, very close to 22 meters. Next score wins. And there's a lot of red shirts waiting for that. Huntley, a big hit delivered out there. Nice movement there by Hayter to keep the ball in hand. Ball taken to deck by New York. All it needs is a drop goal, and this is done. Milton. Right through the center as they bang it. Nice movement. Leave it again. They stay down here long enough to get a shot. Perhaps they get a penalty shot. Heidelberger onto the deck. One of the Belmont players down.
Scrum half Spear.
It's Spear. He is not well. Belmont effectively playing a man short now. Spear just hobbles up. Back to halfway. A little bit of the sevens movement. Here's the chip by Wagoner. Wagoner delivers a perfect field position kick.
I think Huntley was set for the drop goal there.
You see that?
Little good pressure from Belmont.
He struck one earlier from about that same distance. Just, I think, a little too much pressure on him, maybe. That's why he pulled it back.
Ron, you were talking about cramping. I believe right now we're seeing Leasu Asu, a big kid, down on the deck, and I think it's cramps that are being tended to right now.
Well, I don't know if Belmont can replace him if the guy's still on the field, can they?
Nope, they got to get him off. Belmont, what they need is a kick. Ball's tapped. Nope, ball not thrown straight. This might be it, kids.
That was pretty clearly not straight.
Belmont playing a man down until now. They're going to put one on. Let's take a look at this. Oh, not even close. Good call by the referee, Chris Hentz. Belmont, meanwhile, sends Jareth
Wolfgram.
Jared Wolfgram, 6'5", 235-pounder.
We'll have the line in.
And New York doesn't want anything to do right now with the Belmont scrum. They're going to take a line out.
Time is off. Time is off.
Time no longer really a matter in this match.
Wait, time is off. Time is off. Time is off.
Leasu, so
If I was NYAC, I'd try to keep it in tight, try to draw a penalty. And then if that didn't work the ball to the middle of the field, set Milton up right behind my pack, get him about 15 meters behind the rocker mall, and let him shoot for a drop goal.
you saw Leasu coming off the field with help. Boy, what a game he gave his side today. Meanwhile, the struggle continues for Belmont on defense, so close, defending their line. Any mistake will do it. Scrum to New York.
Belmont thought they had it stolen.
It's only there for the wrong reason. It's only there for the wrong reason. Stop.
Great late comment by referee Henschel there. Could have been a penalty.
That's what I think he was inferring. Some tired boys out there.
Drop kick.
Breeze kicks up here in Glendale. And now the sights and sounds of this titanic struggle, which may be coming to a close as New York, just 5 meters away, they have the possession in the scrum. Out it goes to the back line. This could be it. Big hit right in front of the sticks. Don't make a mistake, Belmont.
There's Huntley. Look at Huntley. Position.
Huntley's right back. He's calling for it. Here it comes. Here's your drop goal attempt. Off the side. Boy, they almost charged that down, and that would have been a different deal.
Boy, they were waiting
Mark
for that.
call. Smart play by Belmont. Take possession of the game.
Yep.
Called the fair catch.
Huntley's so close.
Well, they're going to lose possession here, but just put it up in this wind. And you'll get it way downfield. Yeah, good pressure by Belmont Shore.
Here's the punt, just like you said, one hop into touch. Very close to the halfway line. Well, Belmont has dodged a bullet and lives another day. Next score wins. This is the 5th period played by these two teams. It began about 2.5 hours ago. And some of these athletes, ladies and gentlemen, are showing you just how tough a rugby player can be.
Nice execution again.
If you see numbers 1 through 15 on the field, that means they started this thing and they're still at it. Chip by Milton. Testing, back end, and a kick again delivered. That's right at you, Brian. Nice hands. Very nice.
Nice work, Biz.
You still have. He still has that skill. Tapping it forward. Knock on, visitor.
I'm just protecting my monitor. That's all.
Good, you're looking over the equipment.
Yeah. All right.
That would have came out of my paycheck.
Paycheck.
Yeah. Open up.
Oh, oops, I meant.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Full participation by the booth crew. All right, Duncan Onyango on the pitch. They squeak it ahead to Burdett. Blake leaves it behind. Nicely done.
I thought I
Little
saw
dummy
advantage.
move and a ball thrown forward.
We got an advantage.
Oh, this could be the one.
Offside against Belmont. And Mike Petrie was whacked as he went to the deck on the tackle. You know the story, Luke Milton, who just kicked a penalty goal to send us into sudden death. All right, Luke Milton with the opportunity just outside the 10-meter line. This would be about a 42, 43-meter kick with the angle. Certainly capable is he. Luke Milton's kick is up, and it is good. We have a champion.
And a hero.
The ups and downs were endless. And now it's New York with the final up.
Well, John, what a tremendous game. I tell you, it was back and forth the whole way, back and forth, and New York with a final blow. We talked about being a boxing match, and New York with a final knockout punch. Luke Milton, the Aussie. What an outstanding game. Head down, good form. He knew it. He knew it. Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, that's a great feeling. Congratulations to NYAC.
Viz, during this game, and it just saw, you know, it looked like first Belmont was unstoppable, and then NYAC was unstoppable, and then Belmont. I mean, what a great, and look at the heartbreak on this Belmont team.
You see Christian Mayo, he was disappointed he came out of the game, but still very happy. Mike Tolkien, his high school team lost yesterday, but this is a great consolation prize for him. You see Bruce McLean with him. And this guy right here, he had a great game, number 6. Andrew Lindsay was awesome in the lineout. He took down ball left and right for this NYAC team. And again, every guy who was out there, 1 through 15, if you had that number on, as Dave said, and you were still out there at the end of the game, Nesse had a fantastic outing as well. His brother did too. Henry Bloomfield, strong performance.
What line do you want to use for the presentation? The PA or the other one? The PA or the other one? PA. Yeah, guys.
And here you see the NYAC team getting ready to accept their awards.
I got right in the crack for the help me the team right there.
And now with the trophy presentation, here's Dave Sitton. Dave, take it away.
All right, gentlemen, everyone in the stadium today, I think we had a pretty good day of rugby here in Glendale, Colorado. Would you not agree? And particularly if you're a fan of the New York Athletic Club, what an incredible performance as these two teams, Belmont Shore, a multiple-time champion of the Rugby Super League, and New York staged an extraordinary display for the entire nation to see, coming to you here from Infinity Park in Glendale, Colorado. We've got now our trophy presentations. Let's begin first. Nigel, what do you want to start with, the Super League Championship, or where are we going to go?
Again, thank you everybody for coming. We really appreciate the support. We want to thank Mike Donovan, Infinity Park, what they've done for the sport. It's tremendous to see this going on in Glendale, Colorado, and we do appreciate it. Our to on shore, the runners-up for the 2008 Rugby Super League Championship. But let's hear it for our champions, New York Athletic Club. We have a first place for Christian Mayo, the captain. Here we go. Our CEO Nigel Melville with the second trophy. And the MVP, number 13, Luke Melton, 2 incredible kicks.
Luke, congratulations. You're a true gentleman of the sport. And we thank you so much. Guys, it's been a long way. Congratulations. Luke, tradition, give us a couple of words.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd just like to firstly thank the crowd for coming out. What an atmosphere, what a ground. Awesome. To Belmont Shore, guys, I've never been involved in a game like that. Commiserations, but congratulations in the same breath. Fantastic. Just lastly, I won't keep you too much longer, to the AC boys. Yo, beauty! USA Rugby, thank you very much. Glendale, again, great atmosphere. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.
Well, Mike Donovan and everybody here in Glendale, a wonderful evening, an afternoon of rugby. A national audience on ESPN Classic gets to see a wild one. In sudden death overtime, in the 5th period, New York are the Rugby Super League champions on ESPN Classic. For John and Brian, I'm Dave Sitton. So long.